Max in Dexter, Michigan said, I see you and Joel Klatt backtracking on your Michigan takes. Is it time to apologize on air, or are you still holding out hope they get off? I don't hope anything about Michigan. Never have. I haven't backtracked on Michigan. I can't vouch for Klatt. I don't know what he said, but I haven't backtracked on Michigan. I got something, though. So somebody DM'd me a video the other day, and I'll tell you what all this means in a second. I'll tell you exactly what I think about Michigan and the NCAA stuff and what's going to happen. I'll tell you what I think about all that again. But I got sent a clip. I normally don't play clips from other people's shows on ours, but there is a guy by the name of Mike Valenti. I don't know him. I've never met him. I think he does a radio show. He was talking about this the other day, and I just want to play you a clip from it, and I will try my best to explain my point of view on the other side.
People who have told you from the start there is nothing to see here, there are no penalties, only people who care are Buckeyes and Spartans. All of a sudden now, these same people on a national level, well, you know, I expect a vacating of wins. That was from noted Michigan bootlicker Josh Pate. Then the ultimate Dinder Mifflin, dull-ass Joel Klatt today. Oh, something big is coming. Wait, Joel, you spent the last 2 years telling us it was nothing. It was, in fact, a nothing burger.
I laughed for 10 minutes when I watched that earlier today. I'm telling you, if we play bingo, if you just made me bet my salary on things I won't be called in a given year, I would have bet multiple salaries, multiple years' salaries on me not getting called a Michigan bootlicker. I just never saw it coming. It came out of left field. It slapped me in the face, and I laughed. I can't even be mad at it. So Mike Valenti, I don't know him. I cannot even be mad at it. He has no clue what he's talking about, but at least as it relates to me. But I take it he doesn't watch his show. People who talk the most about this show usually watch the least amount of it. So he has no clue what he's talking about. But that's okay. He's not the first nor the last to suffer from that illness. The thing that happens a lot with this sort of thing is someone, like I'll have an opinion on something, and then somebody will clip 15% of it and put it on the internet. And someone like that dude who doesn't watch the show sees that 15% and then accepts it as 100%, and then they run with it, and then the bonus is they victimize you of clickbaiting, even though you're not the one who posted the 15% out of context clip on the internet to begin with. That's a nice bonus when that happens. So what he's referring to there is I said what I said about Michigan the other day. I said what I thought would and wouldn't happen to him. And I also was talking about it in the context of what I thought was and wasn't real hardcore punishment. So some of the disagreements I've had with people is some of you think vacating wins is major punishment. I don't. Philosophically, I've just never thought that. So anyway, I went on the show the other day and I said, I do not think that the way the media rights deals are structured today is such that the NCAA is going to be allowed to take big punitive measures against a school that depreciates their value as an asset. Because I think there's too much money at stake from the media rights perspective. And to understand how that all works, to be very clear, I'm not saying Michigan won't get punished. I've never said that. I dare you to find me any evidence of me saying they're not going to get punished. Let me cut in really quick and ask, look, prayer hands, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you think you're subscribed, check and make sure. Over 50% of you aren't. It's free. It doesn't sign you up for anything. And it helps us keep the show free, college football year-round, the way God intended it. All right, back to the clip. What I said is, I think they're going to get punished in a way that doesn't affect their value in the future. And I don't think vacating wins removes their value in the future. And I don't think issuing show causes to coaches does that. It hurts, but it doesn't torpedo their value in the future. You could give show causes huge fines. I think that will happen. I think a lot of punishment will be handed down. It's just that none of the punishment will be such that people are less likely to watch a Michigan game in the future. If you put a multi-year postseason ban on them, that means that the audience dwindles a little bit. Well, Josh, no, because they did that in the past and people still watched. Dude, first off, media rights deals were constructed very differently. Far less zeros in the past than there are now. And nowadays, you got to understand what's happening here. With the billions that are on the line, those billions are paid because you got some guaranteed draw assets. Ohio State's won, Oregon's won, Penn State's won, Michigan's won. Everything else is great, but you paid for those four if you bought into Big Ten media rights. You're paying money that is ultimately going to the universities via the presidents. The presidents give the NCAA their power. The NCAA exists to do the bidding of university presidents. That's the way the entire thing is set up. So if you think for a second that the university presidents that signed off on media rights deals, taking in billions in exchange for these assets having a certain agreed upon amount of value, are going to let some nickel and dime operation of enforcement like the NCAA issue punishment in the way of a postseason ban that devalues the value of Michigan because less people are likely to watch their games, it is my opinion you're kidding yourself. That's been my opinion. So anyway, I said that on the show the other night. And some guy comes at me and says, you don't think anything will happen to them? Well, how about this? How about we bet on whether or not they'll have a postseason ban? And I said, no. But then another guy said, all right, how about, we bet on whether they'll vacate wins? And I said, I do think they'll probably vacate wins. I would never bet that. Why would I bet that? I think that is a possible punishment. Well, guys like this took that and said, well, look, he's backtracking. I'm not backtracking. I've always thought that's a possibility. I just don't care. I'm telling you that I don't think they'll swing a hammer that hits Michigan in the shins or in the knees. I think they'll swing one that hits them like in the small of the back or, on the side of the arm. And it hurts, but they can still run. They're still fine. Then, when you say that, you will have a third voice that will come in the room and they'll say, this is pathetic. You're advocating for it being totally fine for teams to just cheat and get away with it. I'm not advocating for it at all. Michigan's facing multiple level 1 violations. If we were in a world where what should happen happened, they would have a multi-year postseason ban because they're facing multiple level 1 infractions. And so by the letter of the law, that should happen. I'm not enforcing based on my specific moral stance and how I view the world. I am talking based on what I think will actually happen. And what I think will actually happen is they'll have to pay a lot of money and some coaches won't be able to work anymore. Don't know if that'll be Sharon Moore or not, but I think that will be handed down. Maybe they'll even have to vacate wins, and you can care about that if you want to. I don't, because I saw the past happen, so it don't really matter to me, but that's your prerogative. I just don't think they're going to have a multi-year postseason ban. That's what I don't think. So there's no backtracking, because I've thought that from the beginning, and I still think that. So to be clear, that's where I am on that. No backtracking. I hate to disappoint. No backtracking.